Hello everyone, I'm Hoax, and today we're gonna have a review of the new Umbral Escalation on Dauntless. Let's begin, guys. So right now I'm gonna show you what build I'm rocking. I am rocking a Predator Swift cell on my repeaters with a Dawnstar barrel, full bore chamber, captain's grip, lucky magazine and searing prism. I think these are the best combos for now. Hellplate cask with cunning, Hellplate cuirass with cunning as well, Hellplate bracers with rage hunter, and lastly stride of thorns with conduit cell. You can see all the cells I have: cunning, molten, predator, rage hunter, conduit, and +3 swift. For now, those I think are the best. Right now I have a Shadow Touch Koshai. This one's pretty easy. Essentially I used, it's just the new rework on the Koshai is it's really nice. It looks so much better. They made his horns like stand out a bit more, and I think that's just it just gives him a really nice look, a really nice vibe. Well, of course, he's still just as big of a problem as he was before. See, I just like there, I just got hit, and you can see he got that new attack. Well, the thing that, like, when he goes into the ground and swoops back up, that's a whole ass attack. But beside that, yeah, that one you can boop, so it's really good. And besides that, you have the thing where he surrounds himself with Umbral Aether, and then he does a kind of an explosion or something. He gets charged. It's the new animation. This new escalation brings out a lot of new aspects to the game, including the wound aspects, because from what I heard and read, this escalation is based on the wounds. So a war pike is recommended, but I can't. I have no idea how you're supposed to beat the boss Thrax with a war pike. Like, it seems kind of hard. And there goes the Koshai. Now, here I had a tough choice to make between the Executioner and the Exposed Weakness, but I took the Executioner because I thought that even though the wound is very good in this escalation, the Executioner will do me more good in the long run, you know. Here I had we had to fight a Gnasher and a Carabac. These two didn't get a Shadow Touch variant, which I don't know how I feel about that. I only saw 3 behemoths with Shadow Touch variants: the Nizaga, the Drask, and what was his name? The Koshai. And between these 3, I think the Drask is the design-wise, he's my favorite, but he's also the most dangerous one. His rework and the new abilities and powers that he has are very strong, and he should not be underestimated. But you can see the Gnasher, or the Beaver as I call him, still pretty easy to beat. And then there's only the Carabac left, which he didn't make too many problems either. See. Anyway, you can clearly see that I'm still not very comfortable with. I mean, I am comfortable, but not I don't know how to use this build to its full potential yet. I'm still learning it, because this build is based on the... Oh, shout out to Doe for giving me all these tips through his videos. So this build is based on the molten cells, which you can see that they drop those molten hearts, and those give you fire resistance and attack speed and movement speed. Those paired with the Predator, which in 15 seconds you gain, I don't know how much was it, a percent attack increase, and the Cunning, which has critical chance and critical strike. You get the idea. It's a pretty beefy build that relies on both attack speed and damage. And here we have the Shadow Touched Naizaga. This is one of the again the new behemoths, or like new forms of the behemoths that were added. This one is quite interesting. It's a quite interesting behemoth, and these behemoths are the things that make the Umbral Escalation stand out, and it makes it really fun. But at the same time, it can it can piss you off a lot. I mainly have removed some of those some of the parts in the escalation where I got downed and needed to wait for a revive, so that you guys don't have to see that and wait around with me. But Behemoth Mastery, yeah. But you can see he has new abilities. He doesn't shoot out his spikes anymore that stick into the ground and release those shock orbs, but now he uses the portals like the Rift Stalker, and through those portals he teleports next to you and does his belly thing. No, he does the thing, and now you can boop him again as well, and he can pull a big prank on you, and instead of himself coming out of that portal, he can send a clone like the Shroud does, and that clone damages you a lot. It hurts a lot, but still he's not that big of a threat. I still see I got down there. That was my mistake for not paying attention to him. Still, he's not the most dangerous one. In my opinion, the Drask is where you should be very wary about what you do and how, because the Drask has some new crazy abilities as well. As you can see, me and my team are still powering through this, and it's actually going pretty well. Only quarter of a health left, quarter of his health left. You can see the portals, and he got booped. After this, I had quite some problems, and you'll see what I'm talking about now. You'll see later in the video. And that is it. Just as that. Pretty easy, huh? Now, here at the amps, I took a little time because this is the first time that I unlocked the precision, the surgical precision, and I waited and read what that was about. I feel like overclock is pretty useless unless you get it when you go to the boss. Now this is the round that I didn't like. This was bullshit. See, you see this combo, the Shroud and Strike. I kept getting down because I was focusing on the Shroud, because I have the Dawnstar barrels that are radiant, and I was trying to focus on Shroud so that I can hit him a lot and like do my part of the fight, you know. But I kept getting hit by minions, because we had minions, and that stupid Shrike would just kept running into me, and it was either him that was getting me knocked, or it was the Shroud that was just slamming. You can see that I'm gonna get knocked in like 5 seconds now, right now. There, that was when I got knocked by the Shroud. So here you can see I pulled off a very nice, very good full bore chamber attack. And you can also see that they added for this round those those big corruption balls, big corruption spheres that come after the Slayer. Those essentially, if you break them, they give you the empowered shot against the behemoth. But they do pack quite a punch. If they hit you, they really hit you. They're pretty easy to avoid, and you can destroy them with one shot, so it doesn't really matter. Right here I was a bit confused with the Shroud and his clone, but I eventually found him and got a pretty good shot with the full bore chamber. Now they are both to half health, but now that still didn't stop them from being very annoying together. Fighting them like not together is not that it's really not that hard. It's actually quite easy, but when they are together, these two can be very annoying. As you can see, I was down there, but this dude came quickly in aid, and you can see that Shrike being very how can I say, Shrike-like, exactly his true nature. At some point right about now, the Shroud is about to die, and that was again a very big mistake made by me, just not dodging through the enrage of the Shrike. And here the Shroud died. Now this is the point where the difficulty of the hunt has decreased a lot, because all of us centered our powers and our attention to the Shrike, so that was much more easier than anticipated, than before, excuse me. So yeah, the Shrike has died as well, and now I revived this dude. And it's time to go get my amp. Now you can see a C rank. I already said that last round wasn't really good. Now here I was thinking about picking the Alchemist Revival because I only had 3 flasks left, but I didn't really, knowing Thrax, I didn't really need those necessarily 5 flasks. Now here it's because I went late that the sprite from the portal didn't load in, so I'm sorry for that. But you can see our little slug. I think that's the animal that it most resembles, a slug. So you can see our little slug slugging around. He is a very fast behemoth, so you have to pay attention to his movements, and he has some very how can I say, detailed animations and attack preparations. Like you saw him getting curled up in that ball and then slamming into the ground. That's one of his most common attacks. Then you can see him here getting tangled. in those things, and this is where he becomes either charged. So essentially this just makes him more covered in the Umbral Aether. And then you saw before this is where he swallows a whole Slayer, you know, and the Slayer inside has to fight his way, like hit him from the inside to get out. And that's a moment where all of the Slayers can get some nice damage on him. Then you have the attack where he's enraged, he goes up and he causes a big explosion, and then because of the enrage he starts teleporting through these portals and coming from above and below you and your team. He's quite tricky sometimes. You can see he did that again. His movements, you can say that sometimes his movements are very snake-like, but it's not impossible to boop him. If you get a pretty good team that is capable of booping, this fight is quite easy. You can see that when you can see him standing up like straight and charging, waiting for an attack, preparing a very big attack, he's just going for a big explosion, so get out of the area as quick as possible. Now here you can see he puts up he puts those corruption portals, I think I can say, and he has that attack that brings up a portal in front of you, and he sticks one of his arm claws things and stabs you with them. Here I don't know what I did, I just didn't pay attention to it and got hit, but you can see he swallowed the Slayer again, and this is when we went to town and did a lot of damage on him. So he's only at a quarter of his health left. He gets tangled up again, trying to either charge, and he actually did it. And this is a scary attack of his where you can interrupt him here. He has an iframe, but this attack can one-shot you, and it creates those lines of corruption where if you touch it, you can jump over them, but if you touch them, you get the corruption status and a lot of damage. So you can see he died right here. This was the Thrax fight. As I told you, it's not that hard. It's actually a really fun escalation, and my first times, well, you can see that wasn't my first time, but my first times in it, I really enjoyed it, and it's overall really fun and a really good experience. So I think I can't say it's one of my favorite escalations because there are only 3, but yes, that was it. Goodbye, my friends. Yeah.